Friends of Lake Turkana is a grassroots organization that, in my opinion, started as an accident. 2009, I was trying to do some volunteer work and learned about the construction of the Gibe 3 Dam. With very little knowledge about construction of dams, I focused more on what were the impacts of this dam on Lake Turkana. I didn't even know much about it. I heard from a couple of paleontologists, anthropologists, geologists who were working across the border in Ethiopia that there was this big dam being constructed in Ethiopia and it would have its impacts in Kenya. In my curiosity, I quickly went on Google and started to find out what was really happening, and I learned about organizations like Survival International, like International Rivers, who were just trying to amplify and find out, question about what is this dam and how it's going to impact communities. We quickly started to, find out from them what really was happening, find out from our authorities, because there seemed to be very little information within the Kenyan space, the Kenyan ecosystem. Our members of parliament in Turkana did not know about it, the members of parliament in Marsabit. And just to give context, Lake Turkana is the largest desert lake. It is shared by two counties. It's shared by Marsabit County and Turkana. So it is, for us to engage when we talk about our members of parliament, we've got to engage the members of parliament in Turkana and in Marsabit. It is a miracle in itself. You drive through a huge desert region and you see this water, this huge body of water. And for all our lives as children, we saw it as a mirage, and now we see this lake, which we were struggling to find out what was going to happen to it. With time, we then realized that we needed to put pressure, we needed to campaign, and for a long time just had it as a campaign pressure group from 2009 until 2011 when we officially registered the organization. More so in a bid to petition the government of Kenya to give us information about what it was doing with Ethiopia, what agreements had been made, and what was going to happen. So in 2011, we set up Friends of Lake Turkana mostly to look at saving Lake Turkana, to question the government of Kenya about what agreements they were having with Ethiopia, and how, if they knew about the impacts. Along the way, learned about the environmental social impact assessment that needed to be done that hadn't been done. And initially it was just the environmental impact assessment. Now, years later, we are still fighting to save Lake Turkana, but we've also expanded our work. We realized that at that time, the oil exploration was happening in the lake. We needed to continue protecting the lake, and the efforts that we made in questioning and challenging oil extraction within Lake Turkana was the same efforts we started to put in just highlighting the oil extraction in other parts of the county. So now, as of now, we Friends of Turkana expanded into an organization and is looking at collective efforts, working with and for communities in a bid to collectivize our efforts to demand accountability from our leadership, accountability from corporations, but really to push back and demand for the people's sovereignty. We work in a couple of, within the Turkana Basin with key areas of, providing women leadership. As a woman, it was critical to increase pastoralist women participation and leadership in all spheres of our growth, our life, but also as our culture, cultural spaces. We also, a community that has a very, is our identity to our land is very critical to us. So, demanding for and securing our territorial and land rights, as well as our environmental rights, is a very critical part of our work. As I said, our work really began with saving Lake Turkana, so that is really a critical part of our continued work. But in all this, we continue to see budget allocations, development processes happening, and the participation of the citizens in really pushing back against development that was extractive, that was destructive to their ecosystems and their ecology, their lands, their territories, was one of the ways. And so our work around increasing people's participation, citizens' participation, women's participation in budgetary and development processes is really a huge part of how we engage in securing our lands and territories, in demanding the protection of Lake Turkana, and in providing women leadership.